All right. Oh my goodness. Am I excited to be sitting down with you? So, Alex, this is my friend Alex. Alex and I met over, yeah, she's like, hey, we met over social media. So, this is how it happened. I use hashtags on Instagram that fit with rural living, small town living. And Alex happened to find one of my posts with one of the hashtags. Was it rural living? Was that right?
I think it was, yeah, rural living, rural life, something. Yep, something about that.
And then she came into the Groove Seekers community and basically said, I found you on Instagram. And she was like, I don't even do Facebook. And here I am. So, so then I think what was the episode that you listened to or the thing that you read that made you email me? Because you emailed me just last week.
Yeah, it was when you had done your Instagram lives and then also posted in the Groove Seekers community about Shopco closing and just that you're paying for your small town and what it meant, just the loss of that retail.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So not everybody knows this, but I sit on our economic development board. I'm the president of our Chamber of Commerce, and I also sit on our foundation board. So I am one of those people. I came back to my small town. Most everybody watching this will know that, but I really, really care about my small town. I care about the people in it. I care about the businesses that are in it, and I care about the longevity of it. So yeah, I had shared that Shopco announced 39 closings across the Midwest. Our small town was one of them, 4 in our state. And so Alex reached out, and the email she sent me, it was serious. I was reading it, and I just was like, who is this person? Like, this is so exciting. So then we had a phone call last Friday morning, and it was like beat for beat for beat. We have so much similarity, and she's launching this new thing, and we got into all of that, and it's just, I am just so thrilled. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to let Alex talk a little bit about her and her journey, what she's starting, what she's doing. The challenge that's coming up on December 25th is when it starts, right? Christmas
Yep.
Day is the start
Yeah.
of the challenge. So
It won't take any time.
yeah, I'm super, it's going to be so great. I love everything about what you're doing. So I wanted to come in and share this with you guys because we're going to collaborate on something. So make sure you wait until the end. I'm going to share a super cool collaboration that Alex and I are going to do. But ultimately, I already joined the membership that she's putting together. I've already signed up for the challenge. And I know that there are a bunch of you out there that feel the same way that I do about your small town. And if that's how you feel, this is somebody you've got to know. So with that, Alex, tell us all about the name, the name of your business, the challenge coming up, the membership, kind of why you're doing all of this, because it's fantastic.
Sure. So I, very similar stories, moved back to my small hometown 12 years ago and kind of with the mindset, my husband and I at that point were expecting our first child. We have 4 now. And the mindset of like, hey, this small community really invested in me and we should move back and invest in it. Right? It's a great place to raise children, all the reasons that people come back. And after really 10 years, we were kind of like, okay, we said we were moving back to invest. What have we really done to invest in the community other than putting
Can I ask, can you, just for point of reference, can you tell everybody where you live?
Yeah, I am in Edina, Missouri. It is in the almost extreme northeast corner of Missouri.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's great, and I love it. So we started working more towards, he's been on the school board for 6 years and a few things like that to get more involved. We're involved in our parish, things like that. But it really, during this time, I was working jobs that I loved, but were taking me away from the family. And so finally, I thought, we kind of got to the point, I'm stammering everywhere. We got to the point.
No, you're fine. You're good. The arc of your story is important.
Okay.
The arc of what you're telling, it's important. People need to hear it.
So we just felt like there was more we could be doing. And so I started a few years ago, just started researching everything I could find about small town development, economic development, community development, why some small towns are dying, and then realize actually that's nothing I should ever say. And your town, if you're listening right now, your town is not dying. Stick with me. I'll tell you why and how you can make sure it doesn't start dying. But it drives me crazy when we talk about rural America dying, because purely from an existential point of view, people are dying because we know we're going to die. We have no certainty that our towns are going to die. Like we know that we're going to die someday. So right. We can't say that our town is in a state of dying, because what happened 20 years ago doesn't matter if we make a decision today that it's going to be a certain way 20 years from now. And so we actually control whether our towns are dying or thriving. If they're dying, it's only because we are choosing to let them die.
Right. And so I can't just like let you go through this whole thing without one look. Like, sure. Then this was how our back and forth phone call was too. It was so much fun. I really feel like a lot of small communities, sometimes mine included, we are in the mindset of maintenance.
Yeah.
Which stagnation is not an option. Also, I feel like it really is that. It's the dig down deep. I lost your, oh, you're back. We got you.
Back.
You're back. Here you are. It's the dig down deep tenacity to say, just maintaining's not good enough.
Yep.
And it's not saying like we're trying to be a big city. It doesn't have to look like that either. No. But it takes sometimes a change over of the guard is something that, we experience. And again, not because they're irrelevant, but because if you want new people to get involved, we need to create avenues for that to actually happen.
Yep.
So so I totally agree. It's a choice. And I want to choose to be a part of a community where we want to be relevant, progressive. We want to be here 20 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah. And basically, I think we fall into this trap of thinking small towns are better than big cities. And on the other side, you have, it's like country mouse, city mouse. Like, no, cities are better. And here's like you use the word tenacity. What I started, the business is called Small Town Tenacity.
That was unintentional too, by the way. But yes,
I know.
Small Town Tenacity. I love it.
But so me being Small Town Tenacity, I'm going to take a stand and say something that might be controversial. I love cities. I love being in cities. I love spending time in cities. I choose to live in a small town, not because I think small towns are better than cities inherently, or that cities are better than small towns. We all exist in this same world together, and we all have a part to play.
Right.
And we have to work together. Humanity in this modern world is too interconnected to start going at it with this us versus them mentality. We can't have that. And the same goes then with our small towns themselves. We cannot compete as small towns. The existence of my town and the success of my town directly depends on the existence and success of the other small towns in our county. And I only say the other small towns, all the towns in my county. I say the other small towns because even though we only have a population of 1,200, we are literally the most populous town in our county, and for 30 to 45 miles in every direction. But the success of our town depends on the success of all small towns and all towns around us. We're not isolated in this. And so this whole idea of us not being isolated kind of led to the realization too that because our towns can't be isolated, we as small town citizens have to stop being so isolated. And so I keep researching, I'm reading everything I can, I'm studying everything I can, I'm following people, anybody I can find. I'm going to conferences on rural small development, trying to learn. And there are incredible people doing great work out there. But the biggest takeaway I had from all of my studying and everything was, at a certain point I realized I don't necessarily know any of the answers, but I don't think anyone really does. We are all searching.
Right.
But what I do know is that your town has some things that it does really, really well. And there are experts in certain areas that maybe don't know the whole big picture of what it's going to take to revitalize a small town and revitalize rural America.
Right.
But everybody knows a little bit, and everybody has something that they do really well. So the membership that you referenced, I'm launching the Small Town Tribe, which is just a membership platform for people to come together, people like you, people like me, who care about their small town and are willing to put a little work into it, a place for us to congregate together, not just to be cheerleaders, but also because everybody is good at something. Like you and I were talking a little bit before we came on live, and I was asking for your input on what would you do with this retail space that we have, and to create a membership area where I could go with that question and say, hey, we have this situation with this building. This is what we're looking at. What are pros and cons? What are your thoughts? Does anyone have experience with this?
Right.
You happen to have experience. You were able to give me exactly what I needed. And so to have a space where we can share our expertise, we can share our experience. And the flip side, when we have questions, we can come and get that and ask that, even if it's something as simple as our high school band needs a fundraiser to raise funds for their band trip, and we need something that isn't the typical ordering meat sticks out of a catalog fundraiser that we keep nickel and diming the same 100 people with over and over through a school year.
Right. Or so the parents have freezers full of meat sticks. That's my world. I'm like, I'll just buy them. I'll just buy them. I'll just buy the pizzas. I'll just buy the cookie dough, like whatever.
Yeah. I'll use them at some point. Yeah, exactly. So everything from just that fun, out of the box fundraiser ideas to large event, like what is an event that is successful in your town that really builds community, but doesn't, but pays for itself, maybe, isn't a fundraiser, but at least maintains its own expenses and builds community spirit. Because I think we also are all falling in this trap where we try to do something and sometimes we over engineer things. And we put way too much work and effort into something that is a success maybe, but it's like a blip in the radar of satisfaction as you're going along, and like, here's your town morale, and you do this huge thing that you pour months into planning, and you have committees, and it's like overworked, and you pull it off, and it's like, oh yeah, and then it's like 2 days later, you feel like it's back.
Your status quo.
Yeah. And then, but you feel tied to this, like it was a success by all standards. So now we're going to have to go through it all, and we get trapped into doing these annual things that really aren't serving us. And we need to have maybe a little outside perspective on some things to help us realize where should we be devoting our time? I mean, when we talk about having the same people doing everything, the truth is, we are dealing with limited resources, limited funds, limited population. We've got to start getting really smart about where we are devoting all of those resources. So so that's the membership.
Okay, but there's more to the membership than even just that. That's probably the biggest piece, is the idea of having people that have the same, at least a shared mindset on the outlook of their community, right? Where I can come to you. Like you were just sharing, the question you asked me, I had an answer for you. Now, it may not be the answer, right? But I was like, this is what we did, and this is how it worked. And that's so amazing to have people. And it's also centered around a very specific thing. It's community development in small towns, right? Yeah. But more than that too, what else do people get with membership? Because there's another element of what you're weaving through besides just the good, meaty dialogue and the connection that's going to be happening. What else are you doing?
So there's two main bonuses that you get in addition. I have a podcast, Small Town Tenacity podcast. So go look that up.
Do I get to be on it?
Yeah, you do get to be on it.
Just kidding. We talked about that. I figured you'd let me. It's going to be great.
Oh, I've already been planning you being on it and figuring out what topics. The problem is figuring out when I was trying to decide what topics we would talk about and
Mhm.
when you're on, I realized that it actually needs to be multiple episodes. So I hope you're up for that.
Totally. I love it. It's
And
going to be great.
yeah, so I just launched the podcast. There's only 10 episodes so far. So I've been laying groundwork. And then once I get to episode 20, it's going to start having expert interviews that I have lined up. So Rebecca will be one, obviously. Surprise is blown on that one. But experts on everything from like what you're so good at it and living big in a small town, but there's other things that maybe aren't totally like I have other things I want you to talk about as well. But also I have people talking about events and how to do events in a small town and ideas and things like that.
So exciting.
Yeah, people talk about just the facts of the state of rural America and how a lot of what we hear from the media about the brain drain and it's dying and all that just isn't true. Like statistics do not add up to equal the conclusion that they're saying is true. So just, yeah, experts on all things small town that are applicable and direct. And those will be longer. I try to keep the podcast very bite-sized, like 5 to 15 minutes so that it's quick and easy to digest and actionable. But those expert interviews obviously will be longer podcast episodes. How this applies to the membership, a lot of those experts have agreed to come into the membership area and do a live Q&A session. So if the interview drops on, say, Wednesday, then maybe Friday morning we'll schedule a live Q&A half hour where you can come ask, after you've digested the interview, ask them your questions and like be there to actually answer them. And if you can't make the actual live call, it will be recorded, but you can get me your question and I'll ask it for you, even if you can't be there.
Right.
Don't have to be present to win. So that I'm really excited about. And the generosity of these experts that, the people who are devoted to small town revitalization are just the most incredible people, as you know, like you. And
they're big hearted and they're generous of spirit, and they get the premise of what you're talking about, that we are not competing, we are collaborating. And if we want to win, that we have no choice but to do so.
That's exactly. Yeah, they want everybody to win. So that I'm so excited about and totally pumped. The other thing is, so I read a lot and I really love, there are so many self-help books and business books. And like right now I'm reading Seth Godin's new book, This is Marketing. And
Me too.
Phenomenal, isn't it? I love it.
I'm just starting it because I listen on Audible as much as I can.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm out walking or running or whatever I'm doing. Yeah.
Or laundry. I do a lot of podcasts and audiobooks when I'm like to make myself do dishes and laundry. Yeah. So, so I love looking at these mainstream books with a lens of how can this apply to our small town, like marketing our towns, for example, using Seth's book. And it just fascinates me. So once a month, and in my little like secret, it'll sometimes actually be more than once a month, but once a month is my commitment. I will pick the best book I read that month and give a notes on, kind of a Cliff Notes version of the book, but more importantly on here are the takeaway. I'll read it for you, save you the time. Here's how it applies to our small town. Surprise, it probably will also end with, I really recommend you actually read this book.
Sure.
But so give away notes on the book and how it applies to small town life and revitalization, but then also do a giveaway. So there will be a monthly book giveaway within the membership. And soon it will be your book and it will be a signed copy. I am so excited about that. So stay tuned. I maybe gave away too much there.
No, that's good. I think it's great. I want people to know because all of what you've created, the thing is, Alex, you're just launching it. So it's such an exciting time for people to hear about it. And so I think the more information you give them, the better. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I know there's so many people that work with me or hang out with me here in social media land that I absolutely will be sending some specific messages to people about this. Like, please join us in this. Cause I'm so excited. Like I shared it in my email subscriber list, my newsletter this week, that we had a really tough week in our community. Just a really hard week. And you were like this bright beacon of hope for me, where I was just like, oh, there's somebody else that's completely speaking my language about why it matters. And
to be fair, though, real quick, like your week was bad enough. I think the lobotomy could have been the high point of your week. So thank you. That means a lot.
That honestly doesn't sound sound like much of a credit to you at all, because it was a lousy week. But you literally renewed my hope for my community, for my work. I mean, I have a Voxer group of women that I work with. They're my mastermind group. They're amazing. And I literally got off the phone with you and I Voxered them all. And I just said, I feel like my hope for what I'm trying to do was completely restored. So I'm glad that you're telling everybody the whole spiel. They need to know all of it. So I think, does that pretty much wrap it up though with membership, Alex, kind of what they can expect? And
yeah, basically one more thing I want to
go ahead.
We'll just build on what you said about just starting like that. Exactly. I am just launching this, like literally just now launching. And so anybody right now, I'm being super, super selective. My first marketing plan, I had paid Facebook ads and things like that. Like I had a full blown marketing plan to do a big launch. And at the last minute before like I hit launch on all of it, I stepped back and I scrapped it all, because I care so much about this that I wanted to make sure that I did a beta launch that only included, I needed to step back and for this beta be extremely choosy about who I let promote it for me and where I went to announce the launch, because I want to make sure that these people that come in for this beta group understand the mission, are like no hand wringing, no negativity allowed. There are times that we need to like throw up our hands and say, help me. But we also need to trust that it's a space that when I go in and say, I'm at my wit's end, why am I doing that, I'm going to be met with people catching me. Like when I just fall, I need to know that I have a group I can trust, and that you have a group you can trust to grab you and prop you back up and cheer you on and remind you of all the good things, instead of a group that just spirals downward into, oh, I know I hate this in my town too. And I hate, there's a very distinct difference between empathy of, man, it's tough. However, but here's why, here's your bigger picture again. Do not forget your mission.
Right.
And I want to make sure that the group is positive all the way through. I mean, that's the number one thing that's the most important, is just yourself with positive people who believe in the vision. So I just want to reiterate what you said about just launching, not just launching, but like I'm launching to specific people right now because I want this certain type of people, and you and your group are that certain type of people.
They are. And it's because I think what you're talking about, I think the word, and you can disagree, but this word came up in our phone call on Friday as well. It's not that people have to be 100% positive all the time, because we know that that's not realistic, right? There's going to be challenges, but what's not allowed is cynicism.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Like if you're at the point where you're cynical about everything, then you're coming at every challenge through the lens of, well, that didn't work and we tried that before. And that's the mentality that I'm fighting against. in my
Yeah.
community. So I think that's
Mhm.
such a great point that you're saying, like, come with your challenges, come with your concerns, but always be looking for how to address it and how to
Yeah.
move through it. Acknowledge it, be
Yep.
real about it 100%. But there's a huge difference between that and somebody who's cynical about their
Exactly.
outlook.
Yeah. And you're right. Like you said, that's what you're fighting. That's what we're all fighting. Like I can say, I don't know the answers. I'm just on this journey. So I want you to come with me. Like, get in the car. We'll sing road trip tunes. We're going to do this adventure and this journey tomorrow together. Not tomorrow. We're doing it today. We'll do this together. It'll be fun, and we'll be good for each other. And I don't know the answers, but I'm going to go find them, and I want you to do it with me. But one thing I do know is that I think we're all in the same boat with, you referenced earlier the old guard, and I'm not trying to start a revolution and that, like, oh, everybody who's already involved in
Me
our
neither.
like, I know you're not, because it's you in a large way. You're so involved, but it's not, but you're exactly right in the old guard. And it's not that, oh my gosh, they're awful, we need to get rid of the people who have been doing things forever. They've kept our towns afloat. Like, they've done great, but it's time for us, like this generation who specifically, like older millennials and younger Gen Xers, like that straddle that line. It's our turn to take the reins. Like, we've got to step up. And sometimes it's kind of like there's a lot of control issues and it's hard for people to hand over the reins. And that doesn't mean that they don't care about their town. It just means they've been doing it a long time.
Right.
And you've got to prove that you've got to gain trust, and coming in with radical ideas is hard sometimes. So let's work together to figure out how to start making these changes gradually, because it's time for us to take on some responsibility.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the membership.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back around, and I'm just going to say it like right now, if you guys are still hanging with us, that's part of the little promo that we're going to offer at the end. So stick around. But now talk about the challenge, because really, so the idea is that, from a marketing standpoint, I think we can just say it.
Yeah.
Issuing a challenge is a way for people to experience you, to understand your vibe, to get what you're about, and ideally then say, hey, maybe I want to take a chance on this challenge or in this membership, right? So talk about the challenge, because I'm super stoked about it, especially given what we just experienced in my small town. It's one of my favorite things, what you're encouraging us to do. So tell us all about the challenge.
So real quick, just so we've thrown around a lot of names and stuff. So Small Town Tenacity is the umbrella company. It's the Small Town Tenacity podcast. But within it, the membership group is the Small Town Tribe.
Perfect.
So when I talk about the tribe, that's the membership.
Yep.
And then this challenge is a Small Town Tenacity production. But a lot of the, we'll discuss it in the tribe and things like that, but you do not have to be part of the tribe to do the challenge.
Right.
Like
it's a separate thing.
Introduction, and it's totally free. And so it is the Saving Our Towns Christmas Challenge. And it is set up kind of on a 12 Days of Christmas loose idea. But it starts on Christmas Day. And I promise you that the Christmas Day task will take zero extra time other than just reading, like opening the email from me for the day. That's all. You'll read it. That's it. But then after that, the daily tasks will take 15 minutes. I mean, I tried to construct it with a very small time commitment, because I know, like this morning, for example, I woke up and I'm ready to go. I'm a beast. I'm like, I'm going to get so much done, and I'm on fire and rolling. And then life happens, and Mom, I need to take balloons and cans for a science project today. And all that happens, and our days just get crazy. So I want it to be something that you can do in your first 15 minutes of the day. If you're that type that gets up and has prayer time or meditation time or quiet time in the morning, or fit it in over your lunch break or whatever. So it'll be very short, to the point, specific challenges every day. And I don't want to give too much away, but it will be very easy to take out. But the whole point of it is this whole, like, I've got the Christmas tree behind me. Right now, it's so fun to be in our small town. And, you know, we see the downtown with the lights up, and we've got this warm, fuzzy, you know, a lot of towns have some kind of shop local first type of Christmas thing, right, that's warm, fuzzy, and we have tree lighting ceremonies, or we have Santa coming to town, and it's just so warm and fuzzy. And it's the time of year that we're like, this is why we live here. It is so, the community is so great. And then Christmas Day happens and you're like, well, life sucks again, back to the ground. And it just like dries up. Like you feel so good and the night's gone.
And the magic disappears.
Yeah, exactly. Like magic over, back to real life, and real life is awful. Right. And I don't want that to happen. Like right now, that's why I'm launching right now, because we have magic in our towns right now. And we would kill to have magic all the time, right? So let's do that. Let's do it. The whole point of the challenge is to take this Christmas magic and these warm, fuzzy feelings, and let's push them a little farther. Like, let's get 12 more days out of it. And
right. I
we'll
love
do
it.
the 12 Christmas, but start developing habits that then can push into the rest of the year. Let's start this new year out in a totally different way and do something cool in our towns.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about it. Okay. So I'll just say this. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I can't stress it enough that when I found you, or you found me, and then we found each other on this phone call, I could not even believe the synergy, like, between our lives. And here you are in Missouri, and I'm up in North Dakota, and it's like, we exist. Like, there are people like me out there, you know?
Yeah.
It's so hard to remember that sometimes. And not to say that there's not people like me in my town, because there are, but I think the isolation can really be overwhelming. So I love so much. And I love so much that you are taking the bull by the horns with this whole thing. And the fact that you're launching on Christmas Day is super bold, and I love it. And I think it's great. So the two big things we want people to know is that you can join the challenge, the 12 Days of Christmas and our Small Towns Challenge, for free. I will drop the links to all of this so everybody can get to it easily. But then to really, go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Like, in case you can't find the link, it's really simple. It's just launch.smalltowntribe.vip.
Okay, launch.smalltowntribe.vip. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
That's for the Christmas challenge.
Yes, perfect. And then I just really want to encourage people to take a look at the membership. So is it true that when they sign up for the challenge, they'll immediately see the information for the membership as well?
Yeah, actually, and that would be easier than giving you the link to the membership. If you sign up for the challenge, it will immediately take you to a page about the membership. So if you just sign up for the challenge, you'll see that. If you didn't actually want to sign up for the challenge, you just wanted to see the information about the membership, email me and I'll take you off the challenge list. That's fine. It's just easier to just give you the one link, enter your email, click next, and you'll see the information on it.
Got it. Okay. So the one thing we haven't talked about is, what is the beta group, kind of this pilot group pricing for the membership?
Yeah. So for the beta group, the pilot pricing, I am just doing it. You can do it monthly or annually. If you do it monthly, it's just $9.99 a month. That's it. So, like, cheaper than a meal out with friends, and way cheap. Depending, you know, but for a McDonald's meal price out with friends, and you get to have like all these cool kindred spirits with you 24 hours a day whenever you need them. Or you can do the annual plan that is $99. I think technically it's $98.99. But
right. So then they'd get 2 months for free as well.
Exactly.
Right. Yep. Okay. Yep. Perfect. So is there anything else before we kind of share the collaboration that we're doing, the special thing that we're doing just from now until January 1? Is there anything
Uh-huh.
else you want to add or say, or do you feel like you got everything communicated?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
clearly I could ramble a lot longer, but I think we got it all out.
Well, and the great thing too is that anybody can ask any questions like beneath the video and just tag Alex. It's Alex Reel, Reel.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it is Alex, right? It's shortened to Alex in social media,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then make sure that you go out to Instagram and follow Alex on Small Town Tenacity, right? Is it just at Small Town Tenacity?
That's it. Yep.
Your handle? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. So here's what we're going to collaborate on, and I'm so excited to do this. So, so many of the women that hang out here with me know that I offer these virtual retreats. So they're called the Big Life Retreat, and it's a 4-hour virtual workshop where you also get this curated box of physical things that we unbox together on the virtual retreat. Well, the next virtual retreat is February 5th. So that's a Tuesday evening from 5 to 9 p.m. Central Time. And I just skipped over January thinking like it's just a crazy busy time of the year. So we're just going to get through January and then we'll launch the first one in February. But now having met Alex, I decided that I really wanted to do this to help launch her membership and also give the people that join the Big Life Retreat an extra fun bonus. So anybody that signs up and registers for the next Big Life Retreat on February 5th by the 1st of the year. So it's only the 11th. So you've got more than half of a month.
Yep.
You register for that. I am going to pay for you to be in Alex's membership, a part of the Small Town Tribe for the first 3 months of the year. So I will pay for January, February, and March. So technically, if you sign up today or anytime before January 1, you get a few extra bonus days as well. So anybody that signs up and gets their enrollment all set for the Big Life Retreat, you're also going to become a part of the Small Town Tribe, and you get to hang with me and Alex because I'm in there already. So I was telling Alex, like I always do some type of promo. Oftentimes there's, little promotions that I do, and I can't think of a better promo than to do something where I can help promote something that I believe in, that I'm excited to be a part of, and that's going to make all of us stronger because I really do believe that we're better together. So any questions on that, of course, let me know. But basically, the link will be the link. I mean, it'll just be the full price link. So the price of the Big Life Retreat, again, is $199. So you'll pay the full price, but I will then pay for the 3 full months in the Small Town Tribe. So yeah, if you guys have any questions for me or Alex, just tag us in the comments below. But Alex, I am so thrilled to have met you, and I am so excited to be a part of this launch with you. It's going to be amazing.
Me too. Real quick, I have a question. So to reiterate, as soon as you sign up for the retreat, Rebecca will send me your email address, and I'll send you a link to subscribe. So she'll do January, February, March. If you sign up today, you'll get almost 4 full months for free.
Right.
Do it as soon as you sign up before January 1st. Is there a way, Rebecca, if somebody has purchased membership to the tribe, but then ends up thinks that the retreat won't work out for them, but then ends up before January 1st signing up for the retreat, we can still
figure it out.
Right, you'll still get it. Yeah,
absolutely.
So sign up for the retreat, even if you didn't think you'd be able to. If you figure it out by January 1st, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
You guys all have a great day.
Yeah, you too. We'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Rebecca. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.